Okay, we're in Parsha Devarim, Perek Aleph, Pasuk Hey, and it says like this: Be'erev HaYordan Be'eretz Moab Ho'il Moshe Be'er Es HaTorah Hazot Le'emor Hashem Eloheinu Deber Elenu Bechorev Le'emor Rab Lechem Sheves Bahar Hazeh. In verse 5 in English, on the other side of the Jordan in the land of Moab, Moshe began explaining this Torah. Hashem our God spoke to us in Horeb, saying, enough of your dwelling by this mountain. Turn yourselves around and journey. And so Moshe here tells the children of Israel, listen, stop being lazy. You got to keep on moving. Horeb is Mount Sinai. Why does it use the word Horeb? Well, if we just look here, when it says Moshe began explaining this Torah, the word here is ho'il. Ho'il means clarifying. We're going to come back to that. And it's interesting that Moshe tells him enough of staying at this mountain. Well, it reminded me in Matthew 17 where Peter, Yaakov, and Yochanan, Peter, James, and John, they climb up the high mountain and they see Yeshua, Eliyahu, and Moshe. And Peter's like, hey, let's make 3 sukkahs. One for you, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. Let's stay up here. They wanted to stay up in the bliss and just so-called in eternal paradise, basically. But Yeshua says, no, you got to get back down. You got work to do. This is the same thing that Moshe is doing with the children of Israel right here, saying enough of this. And enough of, God spoke to us in Horeb. Why Horeb? Why not say Mount Sinai, but Horeb? Because if you change the Nukud, it can actually mean sword. Cherev, which means sword. And what Moshe is saying is like, if you don't get up and move and continue to walk in God's ways, you're gonna die by the sword. Meaning, you're gonna lose your life, because we're not to be just hearers of the word, but doers of the word. And what's interesting is when I was saying earlier about Moshe began explaining this Torah, the word is ho'il, and it can mean clarifying the Torah. He began to explain the Torah, but the children of Israel were already with him for so long. This is in Devarim already. We know the book of the Torah. What's going on? How is he explaining the Torah? This is the same thing. Ho'il. What is Ho'il? When you rearrange these letters, it spells Eliyahu. Eliyahu. Why Eliyahu? Elijah? Because even the Tanakh says that before Mashiach must arrive, Eliyahu is going to be the one to announce him. And the sages say that what is the interesting connection with Ho'il began explaining or clarifying the Torah? They say when Mashiach comes, he's going to re-explain the Torah all over again. He's going to shed light. And this is what Moshe is doing with the children of Israel. Isn't it interesting? In the Brit Hadashah, Yeshua says, you've heard it said this or heard it said that. He's actually re-clarifying the Torah, just like the sages say Mashiach would do when he arrives. And who is Ho'il? Well, Yochanan the Immerser. And that's Eliyahu. And so this is the little remez, the hint of what's actually partaking in our parsha and connecting with the Brit Hadashah.